Sorry, have you heard if there's going to be any more sanctions for Josie for that red card? And do you expect any?
No, we haven't heard anything more. I'm not sure really what to expect. I think per our league rules that it's a minimum of a 1-game suspension, and they review it and they will determine if there's anything more on it. Right now we're operating under the 1-game assumption, and we'll see what happens next.
And what happens to John Conway? Does he have any more sanctions for his dismissal?
I imagine he'll be not on the bench for tomorrow's game. Then I assume he'll be back into his role on Saturday.
What's Michael's status?
Michael he's feeling good. He was out running today, and that was a big test of being able to accelerate, decelerate, change directions. He was doing a lot of that today. I haven't spoken to him since he's come off the field, but I know he's just testing it every single day, and we'll see. He's very questionable for tomorrow night. I would probably say we're optimistic and probable for Saturday.
For Saturday, okay. Any other injuries? I know Clement you were expecting back this week, and Ashton as well.
Ash was back into training. Clement is back to sport. He's starting to work. Hope we'll see him back into full training, if not by the end of the week for sure. First thing into next week, all in. Nick is doing his running, and he looks good. He just needs to get released by the doctors, the surgeons, but he's feeling great and he looks great. And Luke is, like we said, is still on the mend, but is getting closer. He's starting to do some running and things like that.
So the other one who can play possibly tomorrow would be Ashton, then I would assume.
Yeah, Ash is available for sure.
Okay.
Josh Williams was just saying the last time he played a match was 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Will he be available for selection tomorrow?
He won't be with us tomorrow. We're getting his fitness up. It's been a little while since he's even been in a full training session, at least a few weeks. So, we've been assessing his fitness and everything else. We hope to integrate him into training here very soon and get him on the available list ASAP. But it's very different to go from training on the side and training on your own to being in a training session and being in a match. So we just want to make sure we get him in the best possible form and give him the best opportunity to be successful and to help us out.
Do you have any connection with him, Greg, or was he just somebody you saw as a quality right back?
No connection. Last year he was a player that we had been watching when he was at Columbus. He has the ability to play center back, right back. Obviously he gets up and down the line well. He's comfortable with the ball. He's a big body, as we said. So he brings some attributes to the table that we can use for sure.
Going back to Josie, from what I understand, his disciplinary record is pretty good. Apart from this red card and the one he had against Switzerland, he's only had a couple in his career. Did you think he was out of character? And this was from your captain for the night. Has the club spoken to him about his actions?
Yeah, I've spoken to Josie, and I know many of us sort of around have spoken to Josie. He's apologized to all of us. He knows he let the team down in a situation where we didn't need that at the moment. He also had the responsibility of the band that night, and so he's clearly aware of that. Yes, for me it was out of character. I think he's harboring some frustrations for a number of different things over the past month or month and a half, between the national team and injury and whatnot. And I think it kind of emerged in one moment there. And, my hope is that we got it out, and he's ready to really get focused and help us out down the stretch. And I think that's where we're at.
And that defender seemed to get under the skin of a few of your players. I mean, Jovinko went down on the sidelines. Whether there was any contact, I'm not sure. But was he getting under the skin of some of your players, do you think?
Yeah, I think they played very physical. My take on the Josie situation was that he was actually fouled in the event of trying to hold off position and bring the ball down. That he was fouled, and I just, in the end, if the foul is called, we probably don't get to Part B. But at the end of the day, Part B is unacceptable, and Josie's well aware of that. But it seems like they were physical with those guys, and we needed to do a better job of dealing with it in that situation. And I think that's the way teams are going to play against us. We've seen it from other teams in the past, and we have to be ready to deal with it, and we have to be bigger than the moment, and we have to come out on top of those moments and those in the situation over 90 minutes.
Circling back to Josh, do you see him more as starting right back or more as a depth player? Because you've had success with Justin there, and then if you moved him back to the left, then Ashton is out. So
it's tough to say. I mean, when we get down to the end of the year, I think it's going to be who's in form, who fits well with the back group, and I don't have enough assessment of Josh and his form because he is coming back from injury. The last match he played was, I think, in May or something, or it's been a little while. So he needs to get back in form, and then we can make that determination. We know Justin is comfortable playing on the right if need be. I thought Jackson has had some solid moments the last couple of games. So we have options. It's a matter of who fits best with our group, and at the end of the day, we need to stop giving away goals, and we're going to look for the best group of guys, not just the back four, but the best 11 guys who give us a chance to win every single game. That's going to be our team. So,
is there anything specific that concerns you the most about the defensive record on the road?
Yeah, concentration. For me, it comes down to concentration. We went back, and as a team, we looked at the last 14, 20 goals that we've given up, and almost all of them are just us checking out for a minute, losing concentration, situations that are perfectly, we can deal with them. A lot of them came off of set pieces, throw-ins, like moments like that where there's a break in the action for a split second. We tend to lose our concentration. We don't communicate to each other and get organized in advance of a situation, and then we end up being in a reactive position versus communicating to each other, being aware, being ahead of the situation and dealing with it. And we saw it last night, and as a group, from me down to every last guy that was in that room, we were embarrassed with the goals that we've been giving up. And for me, that awareness and is the first part of getting it sorted out, because I know the group does not want to be in the video room on the video screen the next time we give up a goal, because it was that embarrassing to watch for all of us.
I know Rome wasn't built in a day, Greg, but we seem to be having the same conversation after each game recently. Is there any concern that it's taken a while for the message to stick?
Concern, not really. I think we have a better group than that. I think it's our ultimate woes have been on the last 4 road games. When we came home, we were more alert, we were better. That's my expectation going into tomorrow, and then it needs to be carry over into the next time we go on the road and for every game hereafter. Obviously, we brought in Ahmed, and he's a player who's alert and communicates. We've asked Joe to be more vocal behind him. Damien needs to be more alert in situations. He's shut off in a couple, and it goes with everybody across the board. And so first is taking responsibility as an individual, and then us as a group rectifying it. And I think yesterday was a good day for that. And we're training it on the field. And our expectation is that we need to get back to 0 goals against, maybe 1. And if we do that, we give ourselves a chance to win every game. But right now, averaging 3 goals against in the last 5 games is not going to give us too many points.
And how much more important does rectifying that problem become as we get deeper into the second half of the season? The number of games you have in hand kind of diminishes.
Yeah, it's exactly the meeting yesterday, and the conversation is don't leave it till the end. Right now, we're in a good spot. We have games in hand. This latter part of the season tends to go by very fast, and we don't want to be sitting in a position where we're talking about what ifs or anything else as we get into 7 games in the season, left 5 games in the season. It starts now. Our push for the playoffs has to start now that we have our first home game tomorrow. We need to be much stingier about every play in every game, much less every goal or every game itself. It just the concentration level has to go up. Our urgency level has to go up. Not just for us, but I think now that you're in a home stand, that's what the fans are going to expect. We can't be sitting around waiting for games to come to us. We need to go take the game and be the aggressors and push to make teams deal with us.
What kind of challenge does Orlando pose?
Well, I think they are. I think they're an aggressive team defensively. I think their center backs are very physical. Their midfielders will close you down fast. From a defensive standpoint, I think they work hard as a team. Obviously, Kaká he's a difference maker on the field. You have to know where he is at all times. Kyle Larin is in form in terms of finding the back of the net and getting himself in good spots. But I think coming off of their last win, they have to have a little bit of confidence. They had a very defensive-looking group on the field, but they still scored 5 goals. And they worked very hard, and they were very, very physical with Columbus. And over the course of the game, I thought they just wore Columbus down. Columbus missed some chances early on, but I thought they just physically wore them down over time and turned it into a result. For us, it's we've got to match that intensity, and we've got to match the urgency. We've got to take our chances when they come, and we've got to be much better on the defending side, on set pieces most notably, but also on the run of play.
Laren has been getting some good service, but he seems to have a knack for separating himself from the center backs. How you got two experienced center backs now? How do you prepare for somebody like that?
Yeah, that's been the interesting thing. Even watching the last couple of games, is he's been 1 against 2 at times in the box, but he's been able to create that yard or that window where he's turned things on goal and found the net. And for me, there's always this, when you have 2 against 1, there's always this feeling like you can zone something, and that to me is very dangerous with a kid who can pull away and get an extra yard and just turn things on goal. We have to have physical presence on him. One guy has always have to have contact with him. It can't be 2 of us just marking the space in front and behind. We actually have to be physically connected to him at all times and make sure he doesn't get a clean look. And we've got to be aware of where Kaká is at all times, because he's obviously crafty. He's a great server of the ball, and he can set up opportunities.
If Michael isn't available tomorrow and Josie is, who will be your captain?
If Michael is not available tomorrow, Josie won't be available tomorrow no matter what.
Of course, yes.
So
it'll be back to Benoit?
Yes, that would be the thought.
And had Josie been captain before?
He had not been captain for us. He'd been captain of the national team. For me, Josie has a very powerful voice in our locker room. He's got a great personality and energy that is present in the locker room. We tend to have a group that is a little bit quiet and goes about their professional business, but is a little bit quiet. And for me, getting Josie in the last game to share his personality within the locker room and with the players and really bring it out within the group and accept that role was going to be a big thing on the day. And it obviously went the way it went, and that's history. But that was the main reason why. It was just we need Josie to be that personality for us, because he's got a big energy about him that's good for our team.